It was raining the night I decided to visit her. Not one of those soft, poetic rains you see in movies, but a heavy, relentless downpour that soaks through your clothes and your resolve. I remember standing on her porch, drenched, clutching a small box of her favorite pastries I'd picked up from the old bakery downtown. I told myself it was just a friendly visit, just to say hello, nothing more. But deep down, I knew I was lying to myself. It had been 8 months since we last spoke. 8 months since the argument that shattered our friendship, and if I was honest, something much deeper than friendship too. When the door opened, the warm light from inside spilled out, cutting through the cold rain, and there she was, Maya. Her hair was shorter than I remembered, her face a little paler, but her eyes, those same kind, stubborn eyes, hadn't changed a bit. For a moment she just stared at me. The silence between us was thick, full of unsaid words and unhealed wounds. I was about to mumble something stupid. Maybe, "Hey," or, "I was just in the neighborhood," when she broke the silence with 5 words that would change everything. "Why don't you stay a little longer?" I hesitated at first. My instinct told me to say no, to make a polite excuse, hand her the pastries, and leave before the awkwardness set in. But something in her voice, it wasn't just politeness. It was softer, almost pleading. So, I stepped inside. Her home smelled of cinnamon and lavender. A single candle flickered on the coffee table beside a half-finished puzzle. The sound of the rain against the window filled the spaces where words refused to go. She handed me a towel and a shy smile. "You still hate umbrellas, huh?" she said, trying to sound casual. "Some things never changed," I replied, drying my hair. But things had changed. Everything had. We sat across from each other, the distance between us both physical and emotional. The conversation started with small talk, work, the weather, her new cat named Oliver who didn't seem to like me much. Then, as the rain softened outside, she looked at me and said quietly, "I thought you'd never come back." Her voice cracked just slightly, and I felt something in me unravel. "I almost didn't," I admitted. "I didn't think you'd want me to." We had been best friends since high school. The kind of inseparable bond people envied. The late night talks, the inside jokes, the mutual understanding that didn't need words. But life happened. When I got a promotion across the city, I started missing calls, postponing plans, and slowly, unintentionally, letting her drift away. Then came that night, the argument. I'd accused her of not understanding my ambitions. She'd accused me of forgetting what really mattered. The last thing she said to me that night was, "One day, you'll realize success means nothing if you have no one left to share it with." I didn't want to believe her then, but standing there in her living room 8 months later, soaked and exhausted, I realized she'd been right all along. As the evening wore on, something shifted. We started laughing again. Cautiously at first, then genuinely. I told her about the chaos of work, the loneliness of a successful life that didn't feel like success anymore. She told me about her volunteer work at the community art center and how she'd started painting again. Then she said, "I painted something for you once, after the fight, but I never got to give it to you." She disappeared into the other room and came back holding a small canvas. My throat tightened when I saw it. It was a painting of 2 coffee mugs sitting side by side on a windowsill, rain falling outside. One mug was chipped. Mine. She smiled faintly. "I used to wait for you to come back, but after a while, I realized, maybe some people are meant to stay in your heart, not your life." I looked at her then. Really looked at her. And all I could say was, "I'm sorry, Maya, for all of it." Her eyes shimmered, but she didn't cry. "I know. I forgave you a long time ago. I was just waiting for you to forgive yourself." The night didn't end there. As if the universe wanted to test us, the storm outside intensified, and before long, the power went out. We laughed awkwardly, lighting candles around the house like we used to during college power cuts. But in the candlelight, things felt different, deeper. Without the distraction of screens or noise, the silence brought honesty. We talked about our fears. Hers of being forgotten, mine of failing even when I'd made it. Then she said something that stuck with me. "You spend your life climbing ladders, Leo, but what's the point if it's leaning against the wrong wall?" That night became a mirror, forcing both of us to confront what we'd been avoiding, the truth that success without meaning feels hollow, and love without forgiveness can't survive. The storm eased around midnight. We sat by the window, watching droplets race each other down the glass. I told her I missed her, not just as a friend, but as the part of me that always made life brighter, more human. She smiled, her eyes soft. Then don't miss me. Just stay a little longer this time. And I did. We talked until dawn, rediscovering the rhythm that had once come so easily. The bitterness dissolved, replaced by quiet gratitude. When morning came, the rain had stopped, and the world outside looked new. Weeks turned into months, and our friendship, maybe something more, grew again, stronger this time, built not on perfection but forgiveness. I started visiting her every weekend. Sometimes we painted together, sometimes we just sat in silence, comfortable in each other's presence. She taught me that peace isn't found in achievements. It's found in people who make you feel at home, even when life feels like a storm. And one evening, as the sun dipped low and the air smelled like jasmine, I told her, "That night when you said, 'Why don't you stay a little longer?' I think you saved me." She just smiled and said, "Maybe you saved me too." If you've ever had someone you drifted away from, someone who once made your world brighter, maybe it's not too late to reach out. Sometimes, a simple hello is all it takes to begin healing what was lost, because some doors are never really closed. They're just waiting for the courage to knock again. So maybe drop by, say hello. And if they say, "Why don't you stay a little longer?" Stay. You never know what that moment might heal. Have you ever lost touch with someone who meant the world to you, and then found your way back? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear them.